You execute brilliantly. Your campaigns land, the numbers track, and your team respects you. But recently, your career momentum has hit a physical barrier. The people getting promoted above you aren't working harder, they aren't smarter. Your technical skills are just fine. The real barrier is your cognitive approach. It's how you think about your work. Look at this breakdown. When research asks why there's a 93% gap in finding marketing leaders, the industry assumes that it's a lack of technical capability. But the data tells us a different story. The gap actually exists in how marketers process and frame their daily decisions. For over 2 decades, I've watched thousands of marketers try to cross that exact gap, starting at the Cleveland Clinic, then transitioning to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and continuing my work today at the University of Cincinnati. Across all these institutions, the marketers who advanced past the plateau did the exact same thing. They made 5 specific psychological shifts. Today, we're going to audit your strategy to see which one is holding you back. Let's start with how you handle action. A tactical marketer asks what they should execute this quarter, but a strategic leader asks what market position their execution will defend. This diagram shows the core of Rise and Trout's positioning theory. Strategy doesn't happen by altering the product node on the left. It happens by successfully fortifying the prospect's mind on the right. Test your own team tomorrow. Ask them to state in one single sentence the specific market position your current campaign defends. If they hesitate or give 5 different answers, you're executing on blind tactics, and this is where you need to spend more time. Now look at how you handle time. The average marketing team operates in a constant state of panic, scrambling to react when a competitor makes a sudden move or an algorithm changes. Anticipatory leaders sidestep the panic completely. They recognize early market signals and build their defenses long before the threat actually arrives. So look at your own track record. What is the one industry trend you've accurately called out 6 months before the consensus caught up? A documented call, not a lucky guess in hindsight. The third shift requires auditing your infrastructure. The average marketing department buys a stack of expensive tools. An exceptional one engineers a system. The logic tree illustrates the difference. A true system requires one tool's output to immediately become the next tool's input, creating a continuous leverage loop. Notice how this compounding loop fortifies itself while isolating nodes drop off. Without this multiplier effect, leadership views technology as a vulnerable cost center. The fourth shift applies the same concept of leverage to your people. Standard management involves assigning daily tasks. True leadership requires delegating outcomes. This chart visualizes why that matters. Researcher Liz Weissman found that the leaders who act as multipliers get double the outcome from their staff. Leaders who hoard decisions act as diminishers, extracting less than half their team's available intelligence, even with the exact same headcount. If you stepped away for a month, could your team successfully navigate a major strategic pivot on their own? If they need you to make the final call, you haven't built a capable team. You've constructed a dependency. The fifth and last shift requires looking at how you handle information. Perfectly accurate data will still lead you to terrible strategic decisions if you're asking the wrong questions about it. Staring at a dashboard and reciting metrics tells people what's already happened, but generating insight means synthesizing those numbers to recommend what must happen next. So review the last presentation you gave to your executive board. Calculate the exact percentage of time you spent describing the data versus describing a clear course of action. When the data is used only to confirm the past rather than recommend the future, the marketer stays trapped in a reporting role instead of a strategic one. You don't need to master all 5 of these shifts by tomorrow to start advancing. Look back at the audit we just completed. Think about the specific question that triggered your defensiveness or made you uncomfortable. That discomfort highlights the gap between where you are and the next level of leadership you're aiming for. Resolving it changes the nature of your work, moving you from the person who carries out the plan to the person who designs it.